God, I offer myself to you to build with me and to do with me as you will. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do your will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I will help of your power, your love, and your way of life. May I do your will always. My name is Brenda. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi,
I
Brenda.
come bearing tidings of comfort and joy this morning. It's good to see all of you. Thank you, Ryan. My friend Ryan's on here. Apparently, it's some sort of miracle that he wakes up at this hour. So congrats, Ryan. Like, I support you, man. All right. Because an hour earlier and y'all would have got a way different talk. Okay. So Ryan's my friend and I'm glad he's here. I did notice that the flyer for this meeting said bagels, though. It's all right. I just make myself some toast later. But the bagels thing is on the flyer. Just want to point that out. Kind of expected somebody to bring me one this morning. I was getting ready to come over here and do this thing. God love the rest of you, man. My birthday was on Monday, July 3rd. I have 33 years, and I went on a gratitude tour. I went on a look at what God did tour, and people just sick and tired of hearing me. They're like, oh, my God, let this week be over. And so it is. It's going to end this evening at the Bronx Big Book. That's my home group. By the way, when people ask me what my home group is, I just make up group names. So the one for this one says the Half Measures group. There's no such group. The next one's going to say As We See It. Anyway, don't go. My home group here live in person said stop giving my home group out because then they get 80 new members the next week. So, and also good luck finding me from here. I usually only speak twice a week and I only have one person I forward a flyer to, and that is my Al-Anon sponsor in Tampa, in Florida. So I'm out after tonight. All right. So we have a problem. I have 20 minutes, which, by the way, I'm just starting right now. Watch. That's just wrong. So I have 20 minutes and I have 4 topics. Okay. So it's important to identify. And I just want you to know that I drank enough to have to be your speaker this morning. That's it. I can't. Because I either have to choose to spend the time on telling you that I belong here and that I'm like you and that alcoholism burned my life to the ground. It made everybody who loved me afraid of me. It made me tell a lie when I was just as easy to tell the truth. It separated me from God, such a distance that I thought we could never cover it and come back to each other. That's my alcoholism. But what I know about me as an alcoholic is I need something when I get on a meeting, I need something after the meeting that I can use right now to be sober. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about, so I'm 33 years. Somebody write this down. Oh, don't put nothing in the chat to me because I don't read chat. Here's my email is bjasso1@outlook.com. That's the way to find me. Somebody has that. I think Luann's on here. So here's what I know. I will walk away from everything I don't understand. So if people are talking about the 4-step or they're talking about this or patience and love and harmony, and I don't understand that, I will walk away from it. So what I wanted to share tonight was it's tonight. What I wanted to share was what are the 5 things I've done since July 3rd of 1990. So if I'm trying to stay sober, I love beginners meeting and meetings for the kids, the little young people, folks. I will go to any meeting they ask me to speak at. But these are the 5 things that I've done every day. I ask God to help me and give me 24 hours in the morning, 24 hours. Dear God, give me 24 hours. And then I go to a meeting, any meeting, anywhere. 3, I call somebody from AA every day and ask them how they are. I missed that last part for a long time, and I would just talk to them about how I was, and nobody cared. Ask God for 24 hours. That's number one. Number two, go to a meeting. Number three, call somebody and ask them how they are. And number four, read any page out of any of our literature. Even if you just open the book and go, okay, this is what it says in the whatever. Just read something, because we're trying to get some new information going in there. And then the final thing is that every night I thank God. I've done that for 33 years, sober today, happy, joyous, free, awake, and I am not afraid to tell you how good it gets here. Now, here's the problem. I got to go on to the four things I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is habits. I'm going to give you a definition. You don't have to write it down. Just sit right there. You'll get it. Here it goes. So a habit is a usual way of behaving, often in a regular and repeated way. That's why I got so good at being an alcoholic. I developed the habit of drinking. That's why I got so good at lying. I developed my capacity to tell lies. That's why I got so good at leaving. I had a habit of walking away when people wanted more from me than I could give them. And then I made them think it was their fault for needing something. So a habit is something to do. And the good news about a habit is that if you drank like that, or if you lied like that, you have the capacity to get new habits. My problem with my habits before I got sober is that they were all directed toward drinking and destruction. So I developed the habits of drinking and destruction. I've been sober long enough now that I have new habits. So that when I want to pick up a drink, I pick up the phone. So when I want to go to the bar, I go to the meeting. So when I want to run away from the way I feel, I call somebody and say, you got 10 minutes? I need to just cry on the phone with you. So I have new habits. Okay, here's the second one. Things won't work if I don't apply them. Like right here, look. I just had this as an example, y'all. Okay? It just happened to be right there. And it's just an example for the point I'm trying to make. Oh, shut up. It says Hershey milk chocolate. Oh, and then this one, it got a little, so look, it's got little riffs in it and stuff. And so I can just show you this and go, look, and it's Hershey's and it's chocolate. And this is the way that you open it. And then you can take a bite. Oh my God. That is so good. I wish you could taste it, but now you know how I felt about the bagel. So I'm letting it go, y'all. Okay, mira. So we did habits. The definition to application is an action to put something to use. I'm going to apply my knowledge to this. I'm going to apply the stove cleaner to the stove. So when I get new habits, when I get information in AA, I have to apply it for it to work. I can tell you all about it, but unless I put it into action, it doesn't serve me very well. I just walk around with a bunch of really useless information. So habits, applications. The third one is craving. Listen, it took me a long time to figure this out. And if you're new and this is all you hear me say, I did not know that I could outweigh a craving. What would happen is that my brain would say, hey, we need a drink. And then I'd sit down and have a drink. Hey, we need to go over there and steal that thing. And then I go steal that thing. Like there was no pause. There was no space. There was no consideration, nothing, man. Like I got a craving and then I had to go. Listen to the definition of craving. Because they gave us the definition, but it's also kind of judging here. It says a craving is an intense, urgent, abnormal desire. Why they gotta put that in there and judge me like that? A craving is an abnormal desire. An abnormal desire, as it relates to Alcoholics Anonymous, is that thing inside me that says, I know it's gonna kill me, but I gotta have it. I know it's better for me not to be in that relationship, but I'm gonna stay. I know that I should not be stealing money from work, but until they find out, I'm going with it. So it's this craving, this idea that something outside of me can fill the empty inside of me. That something outside of me can fill the empty inside of me. And then lastly, You kids probably never heard this word because y'all little. Knack. You spell that K-N-A-C-K. You say some people have a knack for solving puzzles, crossword puzzles. Some people have a knack for sharing their experience in Alcoholics Anonymous. Some people have a knack for, and so the definition in the dictionary says an acquired skill. An acquired skill to perform a task. Getting sober, staying sober becomes an acquired skill. I don't have that right now. And so how do I acquire that skill? Mostly I watch other people who are sober. Because other people who are sober are going to do one of two things. They are either going to show me the direction I want to go in, or they're going to show me the direction I did not want to go in. I remember the first fifth step I was going to do. I was going to meet my sponsor in the morning and then go to a meeting together, and then we were going to go do my fifth step. Well, I showed up a little early, but I showed up early so I could just catch her at the door to tell her I really wasn't going to do it, that I had reconsidered. And so I got there early enough to watch this dude, and this dude at the meeting house, his job, ever since Jesus was little, I think, was to make the coffee. And nobody else got to make the coffee but him. And I sat with that dude while he was making the coffee, and man, he was sober like 27 years at the time. And then this was wrong. And then talking about this person, and then talking about that meeting, and then listen, I listened to that fool so long, I couldn't wait for my sponsor to get this so I could do my fourth step and my fifth step. Because the truth is that that's the other alternative. Everybody on this meeting has my permission. Look, if 6 months from now, why is it hot in here? If 6 months from now, you come on a meeting and you hear me talking about the stuff I was talking about 6 months ago, I would like for you to unmute yourself and say, for God's sakes, Brenda, work a step. I heard you talk about that 6 months ago. You know, because I gotta take what people are offering and create new habits. And I have to take what people are giving me and practice it. If I go on a meeting and somebody said, you know, I've been not telling the truth. And yesterday I finally realized I was going to drink if I didn't tell the truth. So I told the truth. And then I'm like, well, that sounds like something I should apply in my life. And then people will tell me, you know, I reunited with my family, or people will say it was so dangerous for me to be in that place that I asked God to help me move out. And so I have to develop new habits. I have to apply what I'm learning here. Look, this book is one of like 3 books that has notes from every meeting I've gone to during the pandemic. Why? Because this is the stuff I need to apply to my life. I have an ego whose only job is to separate me from God. And that little rat, I almost call him a rat. Anyway, so I have to have this here, because then now I can open this. And by the way, this is also very helpful if you're new. If you're at a meeting and somebody's sharing and you're like, oh my God, please. So you can always have good notes though. So you get to pretend to be listening and be at a good meeting at the same time. There's a note right here that says sanity will not happen if nobody is trying. I remember I wrote that by my sister. I affectionately call her Satan. I cannot help myself. That's why I need God. Anyway, so I keep these books of notes because I have to have stuff that I can apply when I'm not with you. Cravings. So here's what I do when I get a craving. I have a friend, Tom I, at the time, that had 41 years sober, and the dude said this from the podium. He said, if I woke up tomorrow with a desire to take a drink, I would not be surprised, nor would I be unprepared. I love it. And so I have to look at my cravings, ask God to remove it, and get up and go do something for somebody else. I didn't learn. I forgot that last part. So when I got a craving, I'm like, God, please remove this craving, please remove this craving, please remove this. And then I drink and go, see, I asked God to remove it and I drank. He didn't help me. But I missed the second part of the directions, to ask God to remove it and go find something to do for somebody else. Move a muscle, change of thought, says my other folks in the other fellowship. I have to go find something to do. And there's time. Look, there's the book says there's nothing that'll help when you want to take a drink as intensive work with with another alcoholic. God love the people I'm sponsoring. Sometimes they're just going about their life, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna need to do some intense work with you. They're like, what the hell? And I don't mean hell as a cuss word. I mean hell as a warm place. And so I have learned to outweigh the craving, and I have developed a knack to love you. I have developed the knack of joy. I've developed the knack of freedom. I have a knack for being awake. I have a knack for welcoming people. I have a knack to practice vulnerability, to consent every time to show myself to you. Most of you know that when I open it with a meeting, I always say, I'll come bearing tidings of comfort and joy, because if there's one thing that people seem to need so badly right now, it's comfort and joy. That's why. And apparently people are bothered by me, which just shocks me, y'all. I'm so quiet and in my own lane all the time. I have no idea why they're offended. But somebody wrote in the comments one time, and then somebody sent me a screenshot. They know I don't read chat. You write whatever the hell you want up in there. Again, a warm place. And so somebody wrote in the chat, they thought they were talking to another friend, but they accidentally sent it to me. And when I said that I would like to offer some comfort and joy, this woman put a note that said, will somebody tell that BITCH that it ain't Christmas? So I wrote back and said, tell them the BITCH knows. And I bow when you open your mouth to speak. Somebody says, stop bowing, Brenda, it's distracting. I'm like, stop looking at me. But I bow when you go to speak, because a life is about to speak. There was some consent that you gave when you raised your hand to show yourself. And I bow to honor that. I have a sponsor who, when I'm in a meeting and my teachers walk in, I stand to acknowledge that my teacher has arrived. My sponsor, she's got almost 50 years. She said that I helped her get to meetings on time because it was awkward when she was late and I'd stand. But you know, it's just who I am. I would encourage folks, if you're new here, if you just got to AA, I would encourage you to keep drinking, except for a couple of, roadblocks. Dying and wet brain. If you don't know what that is, that's how it ends for some of us. And since we live in the world we live in, when you get off this meeting, you can go Google that. I stopped, and you need to hear me say this. I stopped because I had to. I didn't stop because I thought it was a good idea. I didn't stop for any other reason. I stopped because I had to. And so I want to tell you, I'm going to close here. I've got just a couple of minutes. If you're new to Alcoholics Anonymous, somebody's going to tell you that they love you and that you're welcome and that and it might as well be us. You might as well feel that way here with us because you found your way home, because we can help you. My mom died on December 2nd of 2008, and I was living in Tampa at the time, and I went back, and it was time for me to have my physical with the doctor in January, and I mentioned to him that by the way, I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm awake. So I go to see the doctor for my physical, and I told him that my mom had died. And so he's like, okay, well, beginning of the year, we got to do this test and this test and this test. And then he looks over his glasses at me like this, and he says, about your broken heart. He said, take that to AA. They don't know what to do with it. And I went to my home group in Tampa to the lunch meeting, and I laid my head down on the table, and all I could do was cry for hours, for the whole hour. And then I'd get up and say the prayer and walk out. I did that over and over and over. And then one day, probably 2 or 3 weeks into it, somebody pushed a copy of How It Works under my arms. And I lifted my head, and it took me 20 minutes to read How It Works. But because I've been willing to do the hard things and not settle for the necessary things, sometimes the necessary things are trumped by the hard things. And because I've been willing to do the hard things with God's help, I don't have to have a new sobriety day because my mom died. I don't have to have a new sobriety day because one of our babies died in my family. I don't have to have a new sobriety day because somebody's giving me comfort and joy when I don't want it. And this place. So I'm going to leave you with this. Habits, application, craving, a knack, HACK. And now you have a hack for sobriety. God be with you. That's it.